Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I seek protection from Shaitan Mardud. I begin with the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Ladies and gentlemen, I have two requests. My first request is if you can kindly turn your mobile telephone to silent mode. And my second request is if I may have your undivided attention for the next 17-18 minutes. I can assure you I and all of us present here will benefit from the short bayan followed by the dua, inshallah. We all remember the earthquake in Turkey and Syria in early 2023, or maybe some of us or most of us may have forgotten about it. The point I want to make is that death is a certainty which no one knows when it will come. Hello? Yeah. So the residents that slept at night in both Turkey and Syria had no idea that they will not wake up for Fajr. Instead, there were approximately 3,000 people, including children, who were granted Shahadat, and dozens of buildings destroyed, leaving millions homeless, having lost all their belongings. Death is a certainty accepted by all of us. There couldn't be a better way for the angel of death to take me and all of us present here and grant us the death of a Shahada. Statistically speaking, there will be amongst present and our families who will not witness the next Zil Hajjah month or even the month of Ramadan. So it is a reminder to me and all of us should utilize our time in the best possible way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Losing a loved one is one of the major trials of life many of us will encounter. Grief from that loss is a natural reaction that takes a different trajectory for different people. Some people describe grief as a dark fog that is difficult to shake. Others speak of the suffocating regret and an anxiety that often accompany these feelings. Still others speak about grief as waves that rise up and subside at different points. Shed tears as much as you want, but don't let the tongue say what may displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam experienced grief at many points of his life. May I have your attention, please? Are you finished, Tariq? Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam experienced grief at many points of life, often at the loss of loved ones. During these experiences, he taught us that grief is a natural emotion and that Allah Ta'ala does not hold us accountable for expressing sadness and pain in a permissible manner. Sadness does not negate the acceptance of Allah's decree, which is the very center of a believer's journey in grief. I now want to share some experiences about Bhaijan Javaid Peracha Sahab, or more commonly known as JP. And I want to, in fact, he was my brother-in-law, and I want to quote three instances of JP's life which have very close association to my life. The first one is that back in February 1970, I was in London for barely a week, that he took me to the tube station Marble Arch, got me the map of the underground map, and then took me to his office on Lime Street. And there is where I started applying for jobs as an article clerk to qualify as a chartered accountant. So he was amongst my first Mohsins, because he showed me my first journey into the London Underground and my first journey to Bank, which is the well-known district in London. And from Lime Street, I started applying. I think it was a Monday or Tuesday. By that Friday, I had a job in my hand, and the following Monday, I started my articleship. Of course, Neither him nor I knew that 6 years later I will be marrying his younger sister. Secondly, in 1977, when I had a job in Dubai, JP came to receive both Bushra and I at Dubai airport. And whilst the employer had made temporary accommodation whilst our permanent accommodation was being furnished, he said, no, you're not going to stay in a hotel, you're going to come and stay with us. So we stayed with him for the next 8 or 10 days before both Bushra and I moved to our own accommodation. And thirdly, JP requested me to get a fatwa that he had borrowed money from somebody and he couldn't trace it. So he asked me, how can I do with that money because I can't trace the person. So I of course took the fatwa from the Mufti and duly conveyed to him. So those are 3 life-turning movements in my life.
Please pause for 1 second. We have to test the sound because nobody can hear you, nobody can understand.
Hello, hello.
No, it's too bassful.
So what do you want me to do?
खड़खड़ है, वो check कर रहा है. थोड़ा सा
Hello, hello. Is this better? अब मैं दूर कर दिए.
You guys hear? मोहम्मद भाई आपको आवाज आ रही?
Hello.
आ रही है. पढ़ें जी पढ़ें.
But everyone else has to keep quiet then. That's simple.
Yeah, may I request if I could just have your undivided attention?
Everyone can stay quiet.
Allah Ta'ala has made obedience and kindness to parents obligatory, and He has commanded and stressed this subject repeatedly in the Holy Quran, which bears testimony to its great importance. Kindness and good treatment to parents do not end with their demise. In fact, some of their rights take effect after their demise, and it is a religious obligation of good and dutiful children to fulfill them. The children must continue to be good to their parents even after their demise, that is, to pray to Allah Ta'ala to bless their late parents with mercy, forgiveness, and high place in heaven, Jannatul Firdaus. Just a footnote, children includes sons-in-laws and daughters-in-laws. Children must also do such good acts and deeds on behalf of the late parents, that reward for which may be received by their late parents, according to a tradition of the noble Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Prayers of alive are the best gifts for the dead. It is mentioned in a hadith that when the status of a person is increased in Jannah, he asks out of wonder, how did I receive all this? That is, how did I receive such a high status when I hadn't carried out so many good deeds to deserve such a status? It will be said to this person that this high status is on account of your children asking for forgiveness on your behalf. The children should always pray both during the lifetime and after the demise of the parents to Allah Ta'ala for His mercy, meaning rahmah, forgiveness, meaning maghfirat, and high place in heaven, meaning Jannatul Firdaus, for their parents. The noble Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said that Allah Ta'ala grants exemption from the fire of hell to the person who performs Hajj on behalf of his parents after their demise. The late parents gets full reward for Hajj, and there is no reduction in the reward of the person who performs the Hajj. This is from Fuzail Hajj. It is narrated by Abu Huraira radiyallahu anhu that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, when a person dies, all his deeds cease except 3 things: ongoing charity, meaning sadqa jariyah, knowledge from which people benefit, and righteous children who invoke Allah for him. This is from Sahih Muslim. So long as a man is alive, his good deeds, and he earns good deeds and earns rewards and accumulates the same for the next birth. But when he dies, his good deeds and the process of earning reward comes to an end. However, 5 things, as I'm about to say, continue to earn reward for him even after his demise. Firstly, construction of a masjid. This bears tremendous importance, as on the day of resurrection, such contribution towards construction of a masjid shall bear witness and become a source for one's maghfirah. The person making the cash sacrifice shall receive the reward in any case. However, his or her niyyah should be for the isal sawab towards his father or mother. Secondly, madrasa and rest house or participation in their construction, digging of a well, meaning kuwa, and providing water to people by any other means, endowment of Holy Quran and other religious books to madrasas, students and libraries, and any other deed or deeds from which people benefit continuously. Thirdly, imparting knowledge from which people benefit continuously, even our generation, even from generation to generation. Teaching or recitation of the Holy Quran by sight or by memorization, teaching of Salah and other religious rituals, and writing off some religious books or all means of earning rewards even after one's demise. Fourthly, to contribute in the construction or running of a hospital for the benefit of poor people. And fifthly, to contribute in the construction or running of a school for benefit of poor people. Whenever children invoke Allah for mercy, forgiveness and high place in heaven for deceased parents who are in good need of their same, parents become as delighted and as elated as when dead land receives rain. And it is very easy to give maghfirat to our parents. We just need to recite Surah Fatiha once and Surah Ikhlas 3 times. And Surah Ikhlas 3 times is equivalent to 1 Quran Sharif. So if you were to recite Surah Fatiha once and Surah Ikhlas 9 times, we're giving the reward of 3 Quran Sharifs to the person who has passed away. इसमें वुज़ू की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. So if you are driving, if you are going to the masjid, if you are at work, simply recite Surah Fatiha once and Surah Ikhlas 3 times, and you're giving him the reward equivalent to 1 Quran Sharif. And from another riwayat, reciting of Surah Yasin once is equivalent to the sawab of 10 Quran Sharifs. And the namaz and the dua which we recite in namaz all the time, which is Rabbi ja'alni muqim as-salati wa min dhurriyyati Rabbana wa taqabbal du'a Rabbana ughfir li wa li walidayya wa lil mu'minina yawma yaqumul hisab. O Allah, make me establish salah and my children as well. And O Allah, grant my prayer. O Allah, forgive me and my parents and all the believers on the day when reckoning shall take place. I now want to say a couple of things. I was listening to the Juma khutbah of Dr. Yasir Qadi, who is a Dallas-based scholar, only earlier this afternoon. This was the khutbah he said 2 days ago. And the subject of the khutbah is justice. And it is very relevant to the gathering over here. We have the opportunity to seek forgiveness for injustice that we may have done to our parents, to our spouses, to our children, to our relatives, friends, and etc. May I humbly seek forgiveness for injustice done by me, knowingly and unknowingly, जाने में अनजाने में. मैं आप सबसे दरख्वास्त करता हूँ कि मुझे भी माफ़ कर दें. और ख़ास तौर से I would request कि listen to the full khutbah. It's about 25 minutes, and it's about justice. And in it, he talks about injustice, which we don't know that we have done, or we may have done it knowingly. It's the rights of children, the rights of siblings, particularly when a parent passes away and the male members do not do justice to their sisters. So he talks about all of those things. I think it is so relevant to the gathering that we are here that I would certainly urge you to listen to it. The second thing is, the last 10 days of Ramadan that we finished about 2.5 months ago, or 2 months ago, Dr. Umar Suleiman, who is also happens to be a Dallas-based scholar, in the last 10 days, he gave one bayan each day. It was only 10-11 minutes. And the heading of the bayan was Jannah, Home at Last. So I would request you to go to the YouTube channel of Dr. Umar Suleiman, and you can probably listen to all the last 10 days of Ramadan in one go, because each bayan is only 10 to 11 minutes. And each day he takes up a new subject about Jannah and what we can expect over there, and the fruits of Jannah, the palaces of Jannah, and all of those things. but all of those are dependent on our deeds in this lifetime. And finally, I would like to say that Bhajan Javaid, if he owes money to anybody, or JP as he was commonly known, please contact me or any other family member so that we can settle that immediately, unless those people who he owed money to forgives him. But it is a request from this family and from myself to please approach the family if he owes any money to anyone. Now I'm going to recite Surah Fatiha once and 3 times Surah Ikhlas. آپ لوگوں سے بھی درخواست ہے کہ آپ بھی خاموشی سے یا اونچی پڑھیں اور اس کے بعد ہم دعا کریں گے. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمد للہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اہدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد اللہ الصمد لم یلد ولم یولد ولم یکن له کفوا احد. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم قل هو اللہ احد اللہ الصمد لم یلد ولم یولد ولم یکن له کفوا احد. اللہم آمین وصلی اللہ علی النبی الامین. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأدخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. جزا الله تعالى عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم ما هو أهله. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. یا رب کریم یا اکرم الاکرمین، تمام گناہ کبیرہ اور گناہ صغیرہ جاوید پراچا صاحب کی مغفرت عطا فرما دے. یا رب کریم ان کے تمام گناہ کبیرہ اور گناہ صغیرہ سے مغفرت عطا فرما دے. یا رب کریم ان کو قبر کے عذاب سے محفوظ رکھیں، ان کا قبر جو ہے وہ جنت کا ایک ٹکڑا بنا دیں. یا رب کریم ان کو دوزخ کے عذاب سے محفوظ رکھیں، اور حشر والے دن جب سب حساب کتاب ہوگا تو بغیر حساب کتاب سے ان کی مغفرت عطا فرما دیں. یا رب کریم جاوید پراچا صاحب کو جنت الفردوس میں جگہ عطا فرما دیں. There are at least 100 levels of Jannah, at least 100, and Jannat al-Firdaus is the highest level. تو ہماری سب کی دعا ہونی چاہیے کہ ہم کو ہمارے جو دنیا سے رخصت ہو گئے ہیں، ہمارے والدین، ہمارے رشتہ دار، عزیز اقارب، سب کو جنت الفردوس میں جگہ عطا فرمائے. There are 8 doors leading to Jannah، اور کسی میں سے بھی داخل ہو جائیں تو ہم خوش قسمت ہیں. 8 دروازوں سے ہم کو اللہ تعالیٰ اجازت دے دے جانے کی تو ہماری خوش نصیبی ہے. تو give صبر اور تمام لواحقین کو صبر جمیل عطا فرما دے. اور ہمارے تمام حاضرین میں جن کے والد یا والدہ یا والدین اس دنیا سے رخصت ہو گئے، سب کی مغفرت عطا فرما دے، سب کا درجہ جنت الفردوس میں عطا فرما دے. جو ہمارے حاضرین میں بیمار ہیں یا رب کریم سب کو شفاء کاملہ عاجلہ عطا فرما دے. جب ملک الموت کا وقت آئے تو ان کا خاتمہ بالایمان پہ عطا فرما دے. میرا بھی خاتمہ بالایمان پہ عطا فرما دے. اور اب میں جو ہماری یوتھ ہے، جو ینگسٹرز ہیں، میرے بیٹے بیٹیاں ان اسلام میں، سب سے میری ایک درخواست ہے 5 وقت کی نماز کی پابندی کر لیں. نماز ایسا ایک رکن ہے جو آپ سے پہلا سوال پوچھا جائے گا نماز کے بارے میں. تو آپ سب سے درخواست ہے کہ نماز کی 5 وقت کی پابندی کر دیں، اور فائنلی ایز این ایکٹ آف چیریٹی میرے لیے بھی دعا کر دیں کہ خاتمہ بالایمان پہ عطا فرمائے۔ یا رب کریم، جو بھی ہم نے یہاں عبادت کی ہے، درود پڑھے ہیں، دعائیں مانگی ہیں، قرآن شریف کی تلاوت کی ہے، اس کو اپنی بارگاہ میں قبول فرما لیں، اور اس کا ثواب جو ہے بھائی جاوید کو عطا فرما لیں۔ یا رب کریم، ہماری تمام حاضرین کی جائز دعائیں اور جائز حاجات و دعائیں قبول فرما لیں۔ یا رب کریم، بھائی جاوید کی مغفرت عطا فرما دیں، ان کو اعلیٰ درجہ جنت الفردوس میں عطا فرما دیں۔ وصلی اللہ علی النبی الامی برحمتک یا ارحم الراحمین۔